Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Knights of the Turntable show. This is episode 62, and I'm your host, Profex. With me, I have Joe Hova.
What's up? Glad to be back.
Yeah, in a consecutive week. How about that?
Right?
We've got Kels.
Hey, what's up?
And Kels is on cam, y'all. So every time we do a video and they get over like $1,000, we go at 1,000, low ball it. Over 1,000,
Look,
Kels
man,
gonna be on.
this is not true, okay?
This is absolutely true. And, we have a special guest with us. We have Mr. Reckless on Twitter, AJ.
What's going on, y'all?
Yeah, you watched our last episode. That was your first experience with Knights of the Turntable, right?
Yeah, man, I was real impressed. I love the format. A lot of like minds on here, so I figured I had to come in and chop shop with y'all one time.
We're like minds most of the time. I'm gonna warn you now.
Except when we start arguing.
Most of the time. And we'll actually start off with you. What have you been listening to lately? What do you normally listen to? What's on your playlist?
I don't know, man. I'm like a hip hop snob, man. Like I don't really like anything.
You're part of Get Off My Lawn too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even like Get Off My Lawn. I'm just like such a hip hop purist. Like really, I would probably listen to more like alternative rock stuff than I listen to hip hop nowadays. But I'd have to say anything recent. I like Dave East stuff. I think he can rap. I actually listen to a lot of people I follow on Twitter. Like that's really like I go to their SoundClouds and I listen to like a lot of that stuff. Like I'm the dude that goes into like random bars and hears somebody I like and like cops their CD and listens to that. But I'd have to say like as far as like hip hop goes, Sidewalk Chalk is like my new favorite thing to listen to. I love them. I caught them in Birmingham earlier this year, so that's really like the only new artist I've been listening to.
Sidewalk Chalk. I'm not familiar with them. I'm gonna have to check them out. Are they local to Birmingham, or did they just have a show there?
Now, they're from Chicago. They came with Jack Daniels was doing something called Art Beats and Lyrics, and my wife texted. I was outside the room talking to my barber, and my wife was like, "You have to get in here. They're like a jazz funk fusion hip hop band." So
yeah, I'd be all about that.
Yeah, all their stuff's free on SoundCloud.
What's their name?
Yeah, Sidewalk Chalk. They've got like a drummer, a bass player, a tap dancer, a singer, 2 horn players, and a rapper.
That's dope.
Yeah, that sounds really dope. That kind of reminds me of the Jazz Specs. I don't know if y'all ever heard of them, but they were out of Atlanta and they were a similar style. They kind of split up, which really sucks. But they split up around the time that Janelle Monáe was coming up because they actually had a track with her. I saw them live. She wasn't with them, but I saw them. I went to see Devin the Dude, and they did a little set before him, and I was blown away. Like, It was the best thing I experienced there, so I'm definitely have to check out this group. But Kels, what you been listening
to? No Names Project still. It's great. And actually, once I started listening to No Names Project, I found that Smino project, which I guess I'm late on. It came out in January, apparently. And he did just drop a new single, too. But I cannot stop listening to that. It's like fire. 6 tracks or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely Smino. If you're not listening to him, Smino Brown, you need to check it out. And Isaiah Rashad has a new track, and his album's dropping September 2nd.
Yes, and I appreciate you doing the Googles on Smino because when I listened to the
Shadow Man,
I was tweeting about it then. The first time I heard it, I was like, who is this? Because it was 2 other people on the track list that I didn't know. And I was like, is it this person or that person? And I just let it slide.
I heard that verse on that song, and I was like, oh, no, I'm going to do some Googles. He was also on that track Chance dropped. Wasn't he on the Living Single track? Was that what's it called?
Was he? I'm gonna have to look back on that. I don't remember seeing his name pop up there, but I wouldn't be surprised. But that you just basically that's what I'm listening to. All I've been listening to is No Names Project for real, and I've been going through some old stuff. Like today, I was listening to Godson.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I just every now and then I'll just pick an artist and I'll go through their entire discography.
I did that with Little Brother today. I went through like all the mixtapes, all the albums. It's my job. I can listen to music, so I run through a different artist every day.
This man said, "Little Brother, hey man, welcome to the show. Well, I appreciate you on this show, right?
Fonte's in my top 5, dog. Like
Same here.
you know, they're criminally underrated.
Yep. And he is going to be brought up later on in one of the topics. But Joe, what you listen to?
Recently tonight, I went back through T.I.'s discography a little bit.
Word.
Into the King album, just because I hadn't listened to that in a while. And then, of course, that led me down a wormhole to find Young Dro's album, first album.
Best Thing Smoking is one of the best hip-hop albums ever.
And then I've been listening to Mac Miller's album a lot, like the Good AM project from last year. For some reason, it's like starting to click with me, and it sounds really, really good right now.
I got a question, Joe.
Yeah.
So, like, when you make your own music, do you just wait like a year? I mean, that might be like an artistic thing where you make it, you put it out, you don't want to listen to it until later. Is that like your thing? All right, go ahead, man. What else you listen
to? And then I had to like take a break from like some hip hop stuff, so I was listening to the XX, their first album, which is still really, really good.
Which, that reminds me, there was a song that you had sent me way back. I think you produced it, right? And it sampled the XX, right?
Dude I was working with at the time produced it, but I had the idea for it, and so I shop it and like put some drums to it and stuff. It's called Fantasy, and it has like this really like long kind of like drawn out instrumental. That sounded perfect to like be flipped, and so I told him, "Hey, chop it right here, put some drums to it," and nothing came of it. But yeah, that's my music experience. So
I mean, Mac Miller album does come out soon.
He wasn't going to drop
be on there. It might be on there. But I already said what I've been listening to, just the No Name thing and some old school stuff, some now stuff. I think I'm gonna go through Outkast next, which I technically did that like 2 weeks ago. I just went through all of their stuff, but I'm just gonna do it again because I don't give a fuck. It's gonna happen. But that Isaiah Rashad. Let's talk about that singer real quick. If you got to listen to it, what did you think of it? Kels, obviously you did.
I'm a Isaiah Rashad stan at this point in my life, and I'm okay with that. But it's free. It's called Free Lunch, and it's the reason that I assumed that his album was the September 2nd one was because they dropped Free Lunch right before that. But it's an amazing song. He can do no wrong in my eyes. But once again, he can rap his ass off, and he's just dancing all up and down that track, and everybody should go listen to it.
Yeah, it is knocking. Do you fuck with TDE, AJ?
Oh yeah, like I'm a huge TDE fan. I haven't really much got into Isaiah Rashad stuff just because like I went back through Absol's discography the other day. Now I'm going to J Rock's next, so he's on the list. So.
Isaiah Rashad quickly became my favorite TDE member. Like,
what if he replaced Absol and Black Hippie? Like, what if that happened?
I would be okay with that.
I don't know, because Absol to me kind of brings the hippie and Black Hippie.
He does, but does he still bring the hippie?
Look, I mean, I listen to These Days, and I don't hate it as much as everybody else does.
Hey, friend.
Like I liked These Days. I felt like he was really, onto something. But
it was very personal. I think that's why I like These Days so much.
Yeah, it was a lot of introspection.
Like Closure is an amazing song.
Yes,
Joe.
That's unfortunate.
Joe, I know we've had our differences.
I made a friend tonight.
I need you to have my back for the rest of the show.
We out here.
I done.
Yo, is that
got us in the room with two these day purchasers? How the hell did that happen?
That's another like stinker of a verse on a Black Hippie song or like a damn like TDE project. They gotta boot him out like the Yankees just did to A-Rod. Like,
hey, whoa.
You can be a TDE advisor. Advise us on things. That's what you can do.
But I'm not gonna listen to you because your judgment is not all that great.
On These Days, Kels.
Yeah.
You know a song I'm gonna mention.
I can differentiate liking something and it being a very high quality project.
I mean, yeah, it's not the other projects in TD, but I mean, Oxymoron was a stinker too. So, it's
Whoa.
not actually.
Oh,
Oxymoron was a what?
It was a stinker.
oh.
It was a
Actually,
stinker.
more
Look,
was
hey,
it was
they
just
not on
super
teams no more. We
Our
good.
friendship ended so swiftly.
Look, hey, for what it's worth, Habits and Contradictions is one of their better products from that stable.
I
But
agree.
Oxymoron was a complete letdown for me.
I
was
enjoyed
like,
Oxymoron.
it has it has its
It's fun.
moments, but I can tell he was being lazy
Oh, definitely, yeah.
on that
He
project.
went for it with Blank Face.
Oh yes,
Oh, Blank Face is fire.
He definitely did.
And you gotta when you mention Habits and Contradictions, like in that time period for TDE was just flames because Soul dropped Control System, K Dot he was coming off of OD and then he dropped Section 80 and then Q dropped Habits. Like it was just nothing but fire for like 2 years from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I can't even remember how long it was between Long Term Mentality and Control System, but it might have been in that span also.
They seem to do about like a 2-year thing. I've noticed they stick with like the 2 years because Isaiah and SZA both dropped in 14, and Soul dropped in 14 too. Right? Oh damn, he probably done. If they let him make another album, it should be coming out soon.
Yeah. Absol turned in his last one like a long time ago. Matter of fact, I think he tweeted that he turned it in right after These Days drop.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is gonna be sitting there like Lasers was for a while.
SZA's album should
I
be
don't even
dropping
bring
soon
up
too.
Lasers.
You said SZA's supposed to be out?
No,
She's
I
supposed
said
to be
don't.
dropping soon. I don't know when.
Okay. Well, it looks like we got Rashad next. Have y'all really invested any time in listening to Lance Skywalker, the new
I don't.
TDA member?
No, I don't even know who that is.
Okay. Joe?
Only features.
Nah, I haven't had a chance to listen to him yet.
I haven't listened to his stuff solo. Like I'd actually heard a couple songs before he signed with TDE, but I didn't like actively listen to him. But I can say that the song that he contributed to on Q's album is very dope, very very dope. The second half of that I feel like was all him, and he kind of got Q involved in that process, and it was really dope. So he did drop a new song recently that's kind of weird. It's like drugging a chick. It's super
Wait,
weird.
what?
Yeah, just you watch that on your own, make your own call. but
Okay.
the music sounds nice. So TD got another decent signing on their hands. It's just we got to get Absol back. But the main topic for this particular episode actually spawns off of the 61st episode, where B Will, who sadly cannot be with us tonight, said that Big Sean is the most versatile in hip hop right now. And what he meant by that is, you can ultimately take Big Sean and put him on the track with anyone, and it's going to be dope, including R&B artists, different rap styles, where it's something more, I guess, lyrically intense versus a pop record. Big Sean will be able to flex on it. So I wanted to have a longer conversation with all of y'all about those versatile artists. So, Joe, go ahead, because I know what you want to say. Speak your mind, bro.
You gonna let him do this first?
When I think of like versatile artists, to me, I think Big Sean right now, just because he's capable of doing kind of like whatever it is. Like you can plug him into like an R&B, like the 2088 shit worked. I don't think that would have worked with anybody else. I think it works with him.
Okay.
So I think Big Sean is in that discussion. I think Chance is in that discussion, just because Chance is kind of like, Chance is this person in hip hop that like we have not seen before, and I think it's a mixture of him like just like he's awkward, but he's like the awkward that people kind of flock to.
Okay.
Like you could be a popular kid and be awkward, and that's what Chance is to me in hip hop, because he's so different than everybody else. Because at the other end of the spectrum, you have Drake, who's versatile. I mean, obviously he sings on his songs more than he raps, but like you can get verses from him and stuff that are good and stuff like that. But I also want to throw in, and y'all are gonna crucify me for this, because nobody can understand what Young Thug says. But I think Young Thug is very versatile as well.
I agree.
But because what Thug brings to hip hop and rap music is he uses his mouth as an instrument. He doesn't just rap. He doesn't just sing. Like when he does like harmonies and stuff, like he's using his like his voice box as an instrument, and that is something like I don't ever recall hearing. Like it's just, I mean, there's some tracks where it's annoying, but there are tracks too where it's just like the most beautiful thing that like you'll hear from like trap music.
Okay. Word. What about you, Kels?
I guess I have a place where I'm torn. And when we say versatile, I think in hip hop, a lot of that it gets misconstrued because some artists are very versatile. Like if we get into it, like Black Thought is one of the most versatile rappers ever. He can do anything. I've never heard him put a bad verse on anybody's song, no matter what kind of song it was. Tech Nine is one of the most versatile rappers ever. But then you come in like with the Drakes and honestly Big Sean. Not to say that they're not talented artists, but versatile sometimes becomes easy, if that makes sense. Like they're really not that versatile, but they're just, it's so acceptable who they are, what they do. It's kind of so, I hate to say blah, but it is just kind of like centered. It's just kind of normal. And that they're not versatile because they're so good at it. They're versatile because you can put what they're doing on any backdrop. And
Gotcha.
so, like, being the most versatile doesn't always mean that they're the most talented. Like, honestly, T.I. is one of the most versatile rappers to ever have rapped before, but he's on a total different level of versatility than like a Black Thought would be.
Gotcha.
And I agree with the Young Thug thing. Young Thug is versatile because he just kind of does whatever he wants to do, almost in a Chance the Rapper sense. It doesn't really matter what he does. It's going to work because he's just doing him.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised that you haven't mentioned Vic, though.
I don't think Vic is that versatile, honestly. I don't think his sound meshes well with other artists. I don't think, like, people can get on his tracks and he can get on tracks with certain artists. Like, he can get on tracks with Chance because they have a similar sound, kind of. But Vic has to stick to his lane, in my opinion. He's a great rapper. He is a very talented rapper, but I don't think he could branch out that much. And I think that's why he's not going to reach his potential.
Gotcha. See, I'm the complete opposite with Vic because I feel like even on Internet Tape, he was he jumped a lot of different places, even within just hip hop music. Because he had the stuff that you could hear on the radio or hear in the club, but he had the stuff that you hear in like a smaller lounge and more personal venues or something that you can vibe out to. And then stuff like Down on My Luck, I think puts him in a different area that most artists don't even touch. Like Chance could probably do it because he went that Vic did that house lane for a second. Now, granted, it wasn't all good, but Down on My Luck was fire as hell. And
I think my thing with Vic is why I don't consider him to be that versatile because I don't think he can do that with other artists. I don't think that he could hop on other tracks with other artists and do that. I think a lot of versatility comes in with working with other artists in your genre as well, being able to lend to other people's projects, being able to, I think Vic can be versatile by himself to a certain degree, but I don't see him doing that well in other people's projects.
Right, I respect that, which would definitely put Chance over him in that regard, for sure. What about you, AJ?
Well, I think the obvious one is Drake. I'll give you one that not a lot of people will say, and I think honestly to a degree he's underrated, but The Game.
Interesting.
And I know I hear a lot of people constantly talk about, oh man, this dude, he's always mimicking other people's flows, but he does it and he does it well. The reason he puts out such great albums consistently is because his features work. He's not putting people. He's basically saying, I got a beat that you'll work great on, and I can sound like you. So to me, when I think versatility, I mean he's pretty much a hip hop chameleon in my book.
Oh yeah, I could definitely respect that. Like a prime example of that was a lot of Jesus piece because he had done it before. The Jesus piece, I feel like he really tapped into it, and it worked really well with the ensemble cast that he had with him. Because like you have an earlier track with 2 Chainz, and then the track he did with J. Cole, so incredibly different. but very dope, and he didn't sound out of place on either one of them. So
yeah, and even on the Jesus Peace track with Common, he's rapping like Kanye.
yeah, that's true. That's very true. Any more to add?
I think that like a Devin the Dude belongs somewhere here. Or like Andre definitely belongs on the list because like, they're versatile in ways like we were talking like Vic isn't to me. That they can get on a track with anybody. It's almost like what Brian brought up about Big Sean. He can get on a track with anybody and it's gonna sound good. To me, Andre's the same way, and Devin the Dude is also like he's done tracks, like he's done country music tracks. Like Devin is a very versatile rapper. They're not as versatile on a large scale because we don't hear about it as often, but they have done music with so many people and none of it's bad.
Word. I haven't heard a lot of the Devin stuff outside of hip hop. I definitely want to because everything I've heard from him has been dope. But it would be criminal not to mention Three Stacks for sure. Because even if you just take the Love Below, like the sounds that you hear on that are absolutely
if you
all
think
over the
about
place.
Idlewild and what Idlewild is,
Oh,
and
Idlewild is so wonderful.
Morris Brown is like one of the most amazing songs ever created. And what Andre did on that in Chronometrophobia, they're so different, but they're so great.
Yeah. Idlewild is definitely a good example. Now, do we feel that Big Boy is fairly versatile? I would say yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Big Boy is to an extent, but you're not going to get him on a track like you're. When I think of versatility between Outkast, like I think of Andre doing this kind of like weird experimental stuff like he has done in the past, and then I think of Big Boy, like Big Boy, he did the Big Grams project, and I think that's where his versatility starts because before that, I mean, you didn't really. I mean, his albums, he was kind of diverse with it, but it's still him just kind of rapping.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big Graham shit was him rapping on like some electronic shit, and I really like that. And I think that he should experiment more with that kind of stuff.
I will say with Big Boy, his diversity and versatility actually I think came a lot right before Big Grams.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Sir Lucius Left Foot. The album right after that, like that album, like the sound on that was very much like what Big Grams is also. With whether it was singing or having other people singing on the track, because like the song he did with Kid Cudi was fire as hell. It was super fire. I can't even remember the name of it right now. I have to look it up. But that album was definitely a prime example of him being very versatile. And I think he's versatile in the way that we respect Big Sean for being versatile too.
And I guess that sometimes it seems like it's hard to differentiate between versatile and visible, if that makes sense. Like just because they are out here on everything doesn't necessarily mean they're making that good of quality stuff just because they're doing it all. Like Drake to me is only versatile. I'm not a Drake fan. I don't think I understand he does everything, whatever. I don't think that he would be considered one of the most versatile artists if he wasn't in the position he's in to be put on everything.
Right.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes to something I talked about earlier when people constantly talk about, the talent of Drake with him, being able to act, him singing, him rapping. Probably the most talented person in music that nobody really talks about is Childish Gambino.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
yeah.
When you want to talk about versatility, I mean, he's versatile even outside of music. I mean, who else has been nominated for an Emmy for screenwriting and could write and produce and star in his own sitcom?
And what he did was because the internet was just so amazing. The whole movie he did.
The story behind it, yes.
Yes. I mean, this dude is a true renaissance man. And I mean, I think his rapping is finally caught up with the rest of his talent now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I've also never heard him on a bad verse, like a feature verse either.
No, I mean, he bodies features. He does. I mean, he probably, on Acid Rap, he came on and absolutely murdered my favorite song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gambino's definitely up there. Like, so if put everybody on the spot. So if you had to pick one person right now, only one person to do a project, and that project will go across many different soundscapes, what would that one person? Who would that one person be? And I will start with you. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're talking about many different soundscapes, I'm probably gonna go with Gambino just off of the strength of what he did with Stone Mountain and Kawhi. I mean, he put out a hip hop mixtape, and then he turned around and put out like an alternative pop EP behind that. So he's proven that he can do it across different genres. So I'm gonna roll with him if we going across different soundscapes. If we were talking pure hip hop, I'd probably take The Game right now.
Word. All right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know of a shitty album from Game. He's got some subpar ones, but I mean, he made Doc 1 and Doc 2 and gave us 2 dope albums with 18 tracks each.
His last bad
Back to
album,
back.
but his last bad album, in my opinion, was the second album.
Doctor's Advocate.
I think was Doctor's Advocate the second.
Yeah, the one with One Blood. Actually, I don't. I like that album, but mostly for nostalgia purposes. Like it doesn't stick out as like just a classic album. But it's got some cuts on it. I think to me that was the experimenting with him of doing different styles, because he's got tracks where he sounds like 50, tracks where he sounds like Dre, tracks where he's rapping like Busta on there. I think that to me was kind of his experimentation and the getting out of the shadow of G Unit and 50 album, which is why I kind of like that, because you hear the seeds of everything else kind of going in that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true, and he has some joints on there. It's just that was the last time I can remember like a dip in quality. Like every one of his albums, I feel like I can listen to from front to back and be fairly satisfied. It's just that one had a lot of skippable joints for me.
Oh yeah. There's like 3 or 4 I can name off the top of my head.
Word. Joe.
I'm probably gonna go with Chance, just because Chance gave us like a regular hip hop project with 10 Day, and then Acid Rap was like really experimental, and then this one is like it's leaning Christian hip hop, but it's more of like a gospel rap album. Yeah. And it's just like if you look at that, what he's done in the last 4 years of doing music, it's insane to think like how much he's grown in those 3 projects. And not to mention his ultralight beam burst, and he murked that Macklemore feature earlier this year. So yeah, I would go with Chance.
Yeah, and Chance is actually a prime example of a person that puts what Kels said in a microscope, under a microscope, where you were talking about where visibility isn't necessarily versatility, because with Chance, his versatility is on display on his projects that he's on. 10 Day is very different from Acid Rap. Surf is like another world, you know what I'm saying? And then Coloring Book is completely different as well. It's not just he's popping up on everybody else's music. This is the stuff that he does, which I think I attribute a lot of that to Donnie Trumpet more so than anything, but it's still part of the whole package. But Kels, who you got?
If I have to choose today, I'm going with Chance as well. I know it's kind of cheating, I don't know, but I'm going with Chance, and not just because of how versatile he is. That's a lot of it, but he also brings out the best in every other artist he works with. Like he had a sick verse from Busta Rhymes on Surf. Like everybody who gets on tracks with him just kills it somehow. And just the inspiration he brings out, it seems like what he does with music is amazing to me. So if we're going with one artist to pick today, I would pick Chance. If history would have played out different, I would pick Andre. But I never know what he's doing or what's going on with him. So if we're being realistic, I would pick Chance just because, I mean, look what he does. And even the versatility between the projects is huge. Like the difference between 10 Day, like Joe said, is a completely different project than what Coloring Book is, but also the difference between Juke Jam and Smoke Break. It's 2 totally different songs. Like he's so versatile because he got on a song with people and sounded like them, but still himself somehow. He didn't lose his personality, but somehow made music that sounded like what they made.
True that.
Like mixtape.
Yes.
And what was I going to say about Chance? I just had it and I lost it.
If we come back, let me know.
I know. I think the coolest thing about Chance right now, though, is that he let Future get in the booth and rap with his jewelry clanking in his verse. And you can hear Future's chains just clanking the entire time he's rapping.
You know, Your
appropriate
favorite
for
thing
that
about
verse.
Chance did have to be something about Future. It just had to be.
Everything becomes
Can go
about
one day.
Future.
6 degrees of future.
Honorable mention, which AJ mentioned before. Well, the group Fonte. Now it's a little bit harder to gauge Fonte because on the rap side, I don't feel like he is as versatile as a lot of the people that we mentioned. He is going to rap like he wants to fucking rap. You can put him on all these other tracks, and he will sound out of place, but he'll also like make fun of that himself and do a really dope ass verse regardless. Because even tracks like what was it, Good Clothes, kind of made fun of that style of music and stuff like that, and he could do it. But his versatility, I think, is more so on the singing side. And all the stuff that I've seen him do on that, like first off,
all the foreign exchange stuff.
Yes, all the foreign exchange stuff, because every foreign exchange album has been wildly different from the last.
Yes.
And then he's done stuff with Zoe that's completely different from everything from foreign exchange.
That Return of the Mac remake that they did is both brilliant in its composition and both in its satire at the same time. Like he's making fun of so much shit during that song, but it's so fire.
Sadly, I have not heard that yet. I did not know that existed.
I can't find it anywhere anymore. It came out in like 2010, but him and Zoe have a Return of the Mac, and he's like doing little B ad libs in the background.
I'm gonna have to find this now. That is a mission for the night.
It is utterly brilliant, but it's so fire at the same time. Like it kept the spirit of the original while making fun of so many other people.
I think it's on the foreign exchange website.
Okay. We definitely ain't gonna find that. That is the mission. But Fonte is absolutely ridiculous on the singing side. Because when people talk about artists that can rap and sing, just being multifaceted in that way, Fonte is always who comes to mind for me, personally.
Well, he laid the foundation for Drake.
He surely did.
And Drake will tell you this. Well, he would.
No, he will not. He won't tell you this.
No. He would have told you this a few years ago.
It's like it's in his contract now.
Well, I mean, like think about it. They had 2 songs together on Comeback Season.
Oh, I know.
And then suddenly, like in Fonte's, he's kind of brought it up, kind of like out the way. But yeah, he's like, well, he's never reached out to me. But it's like you would think Fonte helping out his career and Fonte kind of setting the roadmap for how Drake could kind of do this, and he's never reached out to Fonte to say, hey, come get on my album, let me increase your profile.
But there was a story that came out. It was around Take Care time, I believe, where Drake had mentioned, I got to find it again, but he mentioned how the label, how Young Money blocked him from a Ninth Wonder feature for his album. So if they're going to block him from having Ninth Wonder, they most likely will block him from having Fonte on there.
Thank God, that track would have sounded terrible on that album.
You don't know that, Joe.
I know that. You know why I know that? Because we would have the same fucking drums from Ninth Wonder for 9 years in a row.
But you don't think they could take a Ninth Wonder beat and let 40 drop it in some water and it won't sound fire?
and let 40
sprinkle some sauce on it.
and let 40
that shit.
and this is completely off topic, but when people talk about Drake and how he siphons his artists, nobody ever brings up that 40 does it with producers.
Ooh, shit.
Like, I've noticed that with him. Like, even if you look at So Far Gone, that's basically 808's Redux. But if you
that's why they work so well together.
But exactly. So like, if you look, Boy Wonder is a credited co-producer on a lot of those songs. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to like Not Afraid by Eminem, that sounds just like a So Far Gone beat. So when I heard it, I was like, oh, 40 must have produced this. And I was like, Boy Wonder. So then I went and looked. And I'm like, oh. So then I started noticing, Just Hold On, We're Going Home. That's a Majid Jordan song. Yeah. But 40 is credited as a lead producer on that. And so I started doing some digging, and I'm like, you cannot find too many songs where 40 does not have a, at the time, up-and-coming producer that's co-producing it with him.
And if you listen to Majid Jordan's A Place Like This EP, then like all those songs sound like 40 songs. Like G. Jordan produced all of them, but they all sound very, very, very similar to two handfuls of Drake songs.
Yeah, and that's why like on the Budden podcast, which sparked the whole beef when he was talking about 40 is progressing musically. I'm like, no, he's not. 40 taking shit from unknown producers the same way Drake is stealing from McConaughey and Party Next Door. Like it's the exact same.
And with their forces combined, they are Kanye West.
Goddamn.
Yes.
Why you gotta be
correct.
like that?
But she's right. Think about it. Like when they announced their joint collab, I'm like, I don't even understand why they're doing this because they're both wave riders, and Drake started wave riding when he took Kanye's wave and made 808's Redux and got launched into the spotlight.
You know what's gonna happen in that studio between them, right? They're gonna be sitting there in silence, like, you gonna do something? I'm waiting for you to do something.
Gonna do it.
It's gonna be like the new version of that story where Jay and Big are passing the notepad back and forth between each other.
No, we ain't getting no album from them. I don't want a joint album from them.
I don't either, because I honestly think this is a ruse to see who has an artist in the stable that the other one can lure away. I really think that's all this album is. It's like, hey, who can I steal from OVO? Who can I steal from good music that can write some shit for me?
The Weeknd not gonna make no more albums for him, so he got.
But
Sign not gonna write no verses for Kanye no more.
But The Weeknd's smart for not signing with OVO because look at Party right now. Party's album is I haven't listened to it yet, but like all his music makes me want to sleep after the first one. Like he's had like 2 good tracks since that first one, but like Drake has taken like all his good songs for himself. So like he left with nothing.
The Weeknd saw Drake, he had him fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, Budden said it best. We want a party album, but you keep taking party album to throw it on your party album. I mean, he
bring me a
called it
birthday
out
present
right
to my birthday.
Damn. Well, a lot of truth just got spoken on here. And then I guess it's easy to overlook what 40 does, considering Drake does it so blatantly.
Yeah.
Well, and then you come back to, is that really versatility? Can we say Drake is really a versatile artist, or is he?
I think Drake is versatile because he went to acting school, and someone brought that up. That's a good
acting
point.
Like a rapper, he's doing a very good job.
Well, I mean, Tupac did the same thing, but we won't go there tonight.
No, we can. Like I am at peace with that shit. I've been at peace with that shit for years.
We got in this debate on Twitter the other day when people were talking about Tupac, and I'm like, it's funny. Tupac's biggest fans would have bullied him if they knew him in high school.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
He was a drama student with dye in his hair. He was effeminate. He was not a thug. I mean, I love what he did. He created a persona in order to reach the people to try to spread a message. But what people don't get is that he was an actor first. The rapping came after that because he realized, hey, this is the way that I can reach people. But it's like he died before people could realize it, so he just grew into this monolithic legend of him being this super thug, and he will tell you, like if you've ever watched Tupac Resurrection, he says, I've never had police trouble until I became a rapper and started rapping about police trouble.
Yep.
And then even his music, if you listen to
underground videos.
Yeah.
A backup dancer for Salt and Pepper.
He made songs like Unconditional Love and stuff too. Like there's like he saw songs talking about like let's just be peaceful and everybody love each other. Let's stop fighting. Like Pac was out here trying to just make everybody just be like thespians, and like he was out here really living. But he rapped about thug life, and that's what people heard, like you said, because he died so young that a lot of people have from him is the music that he made.
Yeah. Yep. And they don't want that illusion broken for them. A lot of them don't.
Right. Well, most of them are like 19-year-olds who were born the year he died. But
word. But man, yeah, that's definitely some good points on 40 for sure. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to some shit because that hurt my little heart. That hurt my shit.
Dude, just go through the production credits and you will see how few of his hits he actually produced solo. Like, even on So Far Gone, he's not producing a bunch of stuff solo. It's a lot of co-produced by Boy Wonder or flips of songs that, like the Like He Key song or the let's call it off like That's most of the stuff that he's acclaimed for. He doesn't have too many solo production credits.
Him, 40, Kanye, and Drake really gonna be sitting in a room confused, like trying to figure out
whose power can we suck out.
Yeah, like we need to bring one more person in here. We ain't gotta credit him, but we got to bring.
They gotta combine their powers because they run out of artists to exploit.
It's
people smartening up.
It's gonna be like throwing somebody to like a vampire.
Here you go.
Exactly. That's why Chance was smart. Chance, Kanye, come here, little buddy. No, you can get this one song.
Well, two, because he took Chance's verse off of Waves. So
yes, I still don't understand it.
And there's a version of
want Chance to do that well on his album.
What'd you say, Joe?
There's a version of Famous that had Chance on it too at some point.
Yeah, and like I don't know if I heard him rap on Famous, but I heard him rap on Waves, and I cannot understand taking him off of that. I do not understand. Like,
you're not kind.
Your motherfucking early access album. You can't even say it was like for length purposes for the bullshit you had people going through. So, yeah, but that got way off topic. But I remember where I was going. Fonte is fire. My versatile artist though that I would have done an album is actually Andre 3000 though. But for all reasons that we already said, I just feel like I can pick a genre and Andre's going to be able to do some crazy shit. It might take him a few years to do it, but it's going to be fire. But what were you about to say?
Y'all ready to judge me? Because I am going to talk about how versatile of an artist Zero is.
No, ain't no problem with that.
I think that he has a really bad rep, and it's not necessarily incorrect, but he kind of does not give a fuck about anybody or anything. So he's never played into the pop. He's never become like uber visible. Mm-hmm. Nobody really ever paid attention to him because of how he carries himself and what he does. But Zero is one of the most versatile artists, I think, period.
Zero reminds me so much of Pimp C. Because like the way he sings on songs reminds me so much of the way that Pimp C sang on songs.
Word. I never thought of him like that. For some reason, I haven't listened to a lot of Zero, and I apologize. I need to do more. I need to do better. I apologize.
You know Mo City Don though, right?
You said what?
I said you know Mo City Don though, right?
I am. Yes, I am. I ain't that out of the loop.
All right.
We good. But I always kind of put him in the same boat as Devin the Dude as far as like I always saw him as super consistent and versatile artists. That
his discography is ridiculous.
Yeah. He
just dropped a new album actually too while we're talking about it.
To who?
He just dropped a new album.
Yes, I think you mentioned it on last episode. I'm gonna have to go listen to it for sure. But AJ, did you have anything you wanted to add? I thought you were about to say something earlier.
No. If we did, I forgot it.
Okay. All right. That was a dope topic. Let's go ahead and jump into something that everything's been calm so far. Let's not be calm so much anymore because Joe got beef and we about to handle this right now.
Joe got beef?
Because on Twitter, the KOTT podcast Twitter, which is KOTT Show at KOTT Show, tweeted out about the top 5 debut albums of an artist. Now, on that account, I'm not saying that I control that account, but whoever is, whoever
really loves Nas,
whoever is, said that the number 1 undisputed debut album is Nas' Illmatic. Fill in the rest of the spots with 2 through 5. Now, I assume that whoever did that assumed that there wouldn't be an argument about that. They'll just let that go.
Oh,
and,
there is.
And fill it in with 2 through 5. An argument go with that. All right, so go ahead, Joe. Speak your mind, man.
When I was growing up discovering hip-hop, I was told by all the media outlets that Illmatic was like this. It was like the moment hip hop was kind of like accepted. Like that's when people were like, "Oh man, hip hop is like so great because of like Illmatic and stuff." Like it was like this holy grail of an album. And like I like Illmatic. I don't think it's Nas's best album, but I like Illmatic. I think it's good. I don't think it's the best debut album though. I think that there are better albums than Illmatic that tell story, that they just compose like everything that like embodies hip hop. And I think while Illmatic does great at that, I don't think that Illmatic also. I don't think it tells a story. I think it does tell a story of like a 20-year-old from New York, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's just. I think that there are better stories than that.
I don't think there are better debut stories than that. Well, we that's what this conversation is for. We're going to have that discussion. Now, what you said earlier about where people were saying that's where hip hop was accepted, I don't think I would have ever said that.
I think
that is not a very what's the word I'm looking for? That is not an easily accessible album.
I don't know if it's accepted, but I think that that's when people started like wanting, and I mean, with Eric B. and Rakim and shit like that, and like LL, it was kind of lyrical in the '80s, but I think that that's when like people started really accepting hip hop for being lyrical.
Okay, word. But what are a couple of the ones that come to mind for you? We won't do a top 5 because we'll be here all night. But
I think
top
better
2.
better debut. I think Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links.
Okay.
Just because everything like he's telling a story from beginning to end on that, and it's just I don't know, it's beautiful to like, you can see everything that Raekwon is like telling you, because this is before he rapped in like secret words and stuff.
No, you gotta say it right.
What?
Raekwon raps in inside jokes.
Inside jokes, yeah. Inside jokes. Yeah. Raekwon raps in inside jokes now.
Sanskrit.
I also think Reasonable Doubt's a better debut project, and I'm not saying that as a Jay stan.
Yes, you are saying that as a Jay stan. Yes, the fuck you are. Don't lie to me, Joe.
Just happens to be saying that. There's a difference.
All right, man. All right, so Only Built for Cuban Links, which that Twitter account, not saying that was me, but they gave you props for mentioning that one because they forgot that was a debut, because that is an incredible album. Only Built for Cuban Links is absolutely nuts. Kels, what you got?
Okay, so as much as I say I'm a get off my lawn rap fan, I'm really not, because I tend to try and keep it current when we talk about really great things that are happening, because I feel weird always going back and being like, well, Ready to Die was the best debut album of all time, because I think there's a lot of nostalgia in these things. I don't think that if they weren't made by who they were made by, like, that we may not feel this way about them. Not that they're not good quality, but I think Good Kid, Mad City is going to like go down as one of the best. It's technically a debut album.
No, it's not.
If we're gonna be technical, it is. Like,
no, it ain't.
But I mean, if we're talking historically, then I would say Reasonable Doubt. I mean, The Chronic.
Chronic's up there.
A Tribe Called Quest's first album had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we're talking historically, there's a lot better ones than Illmatic to me. But I'm also not a huge Nas fan. I mean, the beats are terrible.
Not on that first album, it ain't.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I would rather listen to Ready to Die. I would rather listen to A Tribe Called Quest than Reasonable Doubt, where, like, I don't know.
Outkast's debut is fire too, also.
Southern Playlistic, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is not their best project, so we kind of forget
No.
how great it is, because it is really awesome. But they just overdid themselves so many times after that we kind of forget about how super fucking dope that album was.
Yeah, for real. AJ?
So I'm gonna have to agree that.
Oh, College Dropout. Sorry.
I don't think that Illmatic is okay. So here's the thing with Nas. My dad is a huge Nas fan, but I feel like if you weren't there for Nas's early stuff, it kind of misses you.
I wasn't there though.
Well, okay, you may not have been. I will be honest. I could not listen to Illmatic until earlier this year. Like I tried, and it was just like, because I didn't start listening to hip hop till like 98, 99, 2000. So my ears were more accustomed to modern production. Now I can sit back and say, yes, lyrically it's up there. You can't do that album any disservice. I won't argue with anyone who says it's the #1 debut album because I don't really have a good argument against it other than it's just it's not for me. Now if you ask me what's the best, that's tough. I mean, Reasonable Doubt, yeah, that's definitely up there. Only Built for Cuban Links is honestly a great choice. You got to talk about the 36 Chambers. If it's for me, I would probably have to go Reasonable Doubt or It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Bruh, I was waiting for somebody to say something about that album.
Because you don't have any album like that album, and to me, Get Rich or Die Trying are probably like the two hardest debut albums. Like when you just want to talk about coming out the gate swinging. Get At Me Dog is a debut single for the era that it was in. I mean, that was so rough. It was so rugged. I mean, it brought back like kind of like that gritty NY feel that I feel like the Diddies and the Hoves and the Maces were kind of missing on. They kind of went that whole Pretty Bling route, and X kind of came. That just hard gritty sound. So if I gotta pick between those, I'm gonna go Reasonable Doubt more for lyrics, but it's hard to say It's Dark and Hell is Hot isn't up there.
What about the score?
Oh yes. I always forget about that one. Yeah.
They only made one album, but it's just so ridiculously amazing.
To me, that's Warren's album anyway. She owns that shit. Which is why when people
technically she does it like she can't perform none of the songs. But sorry.
Well,
damn.
I mean, yeah, but if you take Wyclef off the album, like vocally, the album still that you still have the same album. She can still make that album by herself without Wyclef or Prize there vocally. So yeah, that's why I always when people say she only made Miseducation, I'm like, you're forgetting about the score because she was the star of that show.
Oh yeah.
True that.
I want to enter Jeezy's TM 101 into this conversation as well. I don't know why you're shaking your head, Charles.
We had this conversation already, and I don't know what it is. When that album dropped, I was listening to that. Hold on. The album was fire as hell when it dropped. I remember how I felt when it dropped, but I tried to listen to it recently. And it just did not stand up like a lot of the albums that we mentioned. Like every one of the albums that we mentioned.
It didn't age well, and that's because of the evolution of trap rap.
Yeah, like it just...
And Jeezy's style.
Joe flips birds on his off time, apparently.
He does.
Take that into consideration.
He does a lot of stuff on his off time.
Because it was so awesome when it came out, but it just... The shelf life on right now rap music and fly by night rap music is that it doesn't age well. It's listen to it now and you're like, really?
And see, I don't hear like when I listen to that album, I don't hear that. Like what I hear is like Jeezy was here for the people on that album. Like he made an album embodying of the struggle, and it was just. Yeah, the production may not hold up to like what it was back then, but at the same time, like he's speaking for the streets on that album, and I think that says something about that project.
I guess for me, I look at it kind of more so as could you drop that album today and it have the same impact? And I know that's unfair to say because things evolve from certain albums. Illmatic, people have said, is credited with the rappers working with different producers.
Right.
So things definitely evolve from that. But to me, you could drop It's Dark and Hell is Hot today, and people would still would be fire because there's nothing like that. You could drop Reasonable Doubt today, and that intricate lyrics, the mafioso drug rap, would do something for people today. I don't think and I think it might be because of the oversaturation of the South. If Jeezy dropped TM 101 today, I think it would get looked over. Just my opinion.
Don't fight me, Joe. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I still say that that's one of the best debuts. So,
Word.
but
Well,
we also didn't talk about Get Rich or Die Trying. I mean, it was
no,
mentioned.
he mentioned it. Yeah, he mentioned it. That was one of the most. I feel like that was one of the most commercially high profile debuts. Also,
I mean, but it's hard though, man. I mean, you got that those quarters dropping, and then just the way What Up Gangsta comes in. I mean, it knocks, man. It knocks, and I think the whole album just comes at you so hard that you're like, you don't even have a chance to even realize what the hell's happening when you're listening to it, because he's coming out the gate. I mean, you talking about that, you dropping on the second track, you got Eminem, vintage Eminem coming in, killing shit, and the production was on point. So, I mean, it has its low moments in the middle of the album, but the beginning and end are so good that you don't really notice that lull in the middle of the album when he's trying to force them G features in.
True that.
What about the Carter? Can we do the Carter?
No, because that was not a debut.
Yeah, that's not a debut.
Nah. That's why I also don't claim. That is why I don't consider GKMC his debut. It's not his debut.
It's not a debut, but that's also the debut of like when Wayne kind of
hired Gilly
over.
That was the turning point, but that is not the debut. I think it's a completely different monster to come out of the gate with a project like the Carter, which is what these other people have done.
Instead of building up to it.
Right.
Yeah, what people don't realize with the Carter is Wayne took a long time off between, what was it, 500 Degrees and the Carter, and in that time he was pretty much a Jay-Z clone.
And he really did a 180-degree flip on the music he was making. Like,
yeah, I mean, he started rapping. He started rapping like he was from Philly. He started calling dudes bulls, and I mean, I know part of that's attributed to Gilly.
A
lot. But I mean, you go back and listen to those Squad mixtapes. Yeah. I mean, Wayne has a verse on Renegade that I would put over Eminem and Jay's on Squad Up.
Wayne needs to be on the most versatile rappers list as well, I think. Career-wise, long-term, maybe not today. Maybe not today.
I have a love-hate relationship with Wayne because
I'll fight all y'all over Lil Wayne.
The stuff I heard him do from the Squad Up mixtapes up until the Carter 2, lyrically, he was on a track to be up there with the greats. And then Carter 3 dropped, and he got on all that lean, and he became self-aware like Drake is right now.
Yep.
I can drop and it's gonna sell 1 million, so I don't have to try anymore. And he ain't been the same to me since. Like, I look at everything from a standpoint of, as someone who makes music, if I can tell someone's being lazy, I immediately lose respect for you. Like when Randy Moss came out and said, I play when I wanna, I lost respect for him. Like, I feel like if you don't have to go your lyrically best on every track, but I at least want to hear it. I want to hear it in your voice that you're trying. It may not fit for you to go ape shit on the track, but you should at least rap like you care. Like Wayne just started throwing out stupid ass punchlines like, I'm not even about to say none of the dumb shit that he said, but I go planners, I go macadamia nuts. Like, that's all over the fucking No Ceiling shit. People are like, that's the greatest mixtape ever, and I'm like, he's not even rapping.
Okay, hey, you know what? I got a question. I got to put you on the spot real quick before. Actually, I'm gonna say my one of my higher rated debuts, because I should have went first because not everybody's even gonna fucking know this one. But Little Brothers The Listening, I feel is one of the best debuts ever.
I was listening to that earlier.
Yeah,
one of my favorite songs on there is Shorty on the Lookout. I love that song.
Yes, and for it to be an album that is that long also, which we've discussed in previous episodes, that when you have a lengthy project, we will lose interest immediately. But I can
never gets boring though.
Yeah, never gets boring. But I'm put you on the spotlight. You said that you like to hear when the artist tries. Imagine I'm holding the mic right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in your face. Mm-hmm. When was the last time Jay-Z tried?
Well, see, now let me just say this for the record, and me and my boy Ron were having this conversation. I don't know that Jay-Z has ever tried. outside of
Ding, ding, ding.
because Jay-Z to me can rap like Lupe, but it's just like you said on the Black album. I can't help the poor. Jay-Z is like Jordan dropping 30 without trying. You know he can go for 45, but he's like, 30 will win us the game. Like I feel like he lapped everybody going half-ass his whole career, but he was so much better than everyone that he didn't have to. Like he tried, but he always held back. Like it's like Goku fighting Super Saiyan 1 when you know he can go to Super Saiyan 3.
And
It's
his
kind of like
motivation always seemed
I don't
different
have
to me as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, now I'm thinking of Jay-Z and Nas as Goku and Vegeta, and it's pissing me off.
Mm-hmm.
Like that common sense line it just speaks volumes of his career.
Yeah. Because you know he can do it because he did it. The Evils, I mean, the shit he did on Reasonable Doubt, lyrically, he was running circles around people. But after he sold 5 million on Volume 2, I think it clicked in his brain. Like, I think, like, once he got into Blueprint, he realized, hey, I can still rap better than niggas without going over their heads and sell records. And I think
And he
that's
really
when
said
he
this
took
in all
off.
his raps as well. He really told everybody, like, I don't really give a fuck, because when I was rapping like I gave a fuck, y'all didn't give a fuck, so.
Yeah. I mean, no one called Reasonable Doubt a classic till he called it a classic.
Mm-hmm.
For being truthful.
Where does Juvenile 400 Degrees fit in this conversation?
At the top.
Hey, Juvenile's responsible for some hood. Like, Juvenile took a questionnaire and made it famous. Like,
Got a lot of Jabot jeans, huh?
have y'all? Someone took the lyrics to High and made like a 68 question questionnaire online for it.
Oh, fuck! I need that.
Like,
that shit is amazing.
Like, if I can find it, I'll DM it to you later. Like, Juvenile is responsible for some hood classics, but
And I mean, I grew up in Houston. Our influence from Louisiana is so heavy that like Juvenile was a staple in music growing up. Like Cash Money, everything Louisiana, everything Southern. Like that shit is a classic to me. It's not up there like lyricism wise, but for what it did and the lane he had and like how big that album got, it's a very important album for hip hop because it was so fun.
Yeah, and that was like really like that, and Master P was kind of like I grew up in Ohio, so you know we would hear stuff from the South, but it was very rare. You know, like we heard Elevators by Outkast, but that was like the only South I can think of growing up till No Limit and Cash Money hit, and that was really like the start of the South.
What they did was amazing.
Yeah, I mean like that was the start of the South's incline coming up and taking shit over. Was that. So, I mean, yeah, that's a very good point about 400 Degrees. If you want to talk about impact, it's definitely up there.
I agree. I can't disagree with that at all. Not one bit. Because
I 400 Degrees.
Word. But that was another great conversation. I don't want this to run too long because AJ called us out because we was like 2.5 hours.
Hey, we did a lot of arguing last time though. Like shit had to be said.
Yeah, to that. But to close this out, let me know what y'all are looking forward to the most. Albums that are confirmed. So don't say J Electronica. The shit ain't happening. It got to be or Frank Ocean. Fucking Frank
Ocean, man.
Like you know, like I ignored the hype about his project for the longest, but then when they got trolled this last time, I'm like, fuck Frank Ocean. I'm not getting the album either. Like,
Yo, did I mention on the podcast that I got blocked by J Electronica?
No,
you do.
Finally,
because of all the shit I've been talking about him like being a
finally blocked you.
Finally blocked me after all these years.
Got fed up.
The deadbeat dad finally stood up and hit
Deadbeat
the block button.
Also, shout out to Ace Guy because I guess he's watching about 11 minutes ago on Twitter. He said mention TM101 and I didn't even see it.
We didn't need your help with that, Sky. You could have stayed over there. We don't need nobody supporting Joe's theories out here.
Joke and trap all over.
Exactly. But he got something he can sell you after the show, though. Just holler. But we're gonna. So what are y'all most looking forward to? I gotta say I'm super excited for Mac Miller's album now because I didn't know one was coming, so I'm pretty hyped for that. I was kind of hyped for Ab Soul's project, whenever that comes out this year. I think it still is gonna come out this year. But once I heard that that part remix, that shit went right out the window.
He ain't on that song as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I need the version without him on it. Matter of fact, if somebody could do a whole Slaughterhouse album and take every Joe Budden verse off of it, y'all
Hey,
can get
whoa.
All right, I'm closing my computer. Y'all have
Hold on, wait. I didn't support that. I am a Joe Budden fan.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying,
All right.
I'm just saying, if somebody could put the work in to take Joe Budden off every track on the Slaughterhouse album.
Look, listen, I got an autographed copy of Boo Music 4 around here somewhere. Like, I don't.
Did you have to like chase him down in his condo to get it?
Nah. I actually bought it. It was during the release.
All right. But Kels, what are you looking forward to the most?
Isaiah Rashad's album, definitely.
Oh, yeah, I should have known
Sylvia Demo is definitely one of my favorite albums ever created. It's still the best album that came out in 2014, so I'm really looking forward to his album. All the singles he's put out have been great too. So.
They've gotten
September
better.
2nd, I'll be here flipping tables.
Yeah, word. AJ.
Definitely Rage in the Machine. Looking forward to hearing Budden as an indie artist finally after all these years. I will also have to say definitely looking forward to Lupe's Final Free.
I was about to say that when you said the indie part, I was like, that remind me of this motherfucker that I love to hate and hate to love.
I'm a Lupe fan. I got to see him in Birmingham right before I moved to Charlotte, and that was one of the most amazing concert experiences of my life. But I'm definitely looking forward to History, even though a lot of people hate Pick Up the Phone. It's lyrically a pretty good song, although it would have been better with Matthew Santos on it. But whatever.
He trolled us with that song.
Oh, I know.
But
I like it. I like it though.
Do you follow him on Twitter?
Yes.
Damn. I was gonna say that's probably if you didn't. I was gonna say that's why you're still a fan. But.
No. I get what Lupe does. Lupe's kind of like the dude who like spent years telling us the aliens were coming, and now that we see the aliens, he's like, all right, fuck you guys, y'all didn't listen to me before.
Now I'm leaving.
Now I'm gonna go side with them.
He that dude.
But I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to Skulls, Drogus, and Drogus Light. So I'm thinking he's gonna drop around the 10th anniversary of Food and Liquor because that's coming up in a month. So
which we didn't
mention. You know what he gonna do though, cause it's Lupe. The 10th anniversary gonna come around and shit gonna drop. It's gonna drop. Right. It's gonna drop the next day.
You're probably right, but I actually got a vinyl of Food and Liquor on order right now. In the blog I'm on, The Kids Wear Crowns. I had to plug that. We're doing a whole Lupe appreciation.
Wait, you write for them?
Yes.
You write for Ron?
Yes, I do usually.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be sending him some reviews for that site too.
Yeah, I usually do the superhero stuff with him.
Well, that's lit.
Small world.
Yep.
Very small world.
But if you find a plug on the Cool on vinyl, let me know because I've been searching and I can't find it for no.
You can't, dude. I just saw one up on Amazon the other day. Let me find it and I'll shoot it to you.
I'm searching now. Joe, what you looking forward to?
The one I was looking forward to was the Schoolboy Q album. And I mean that I'm satisfied with that project. So.
Pause. That vinyl on Amazon is $189.
American dollars?
Yeah, the Food and Liquor vinyl, $250.
No. The reasonable prices. Reasonable. All right, Joe. Go.
Okay, I got you.
I don't know. If I had to pick something, I would probably say Mac Miller's project, just because I like good.
You can't choose your own shit, Joe.
What the hell?
Yes, you can.
And honestly, you know what? I need to go listen to it since it dropped today. But I was kind of looking forward to Shrimp Life too.
I heard it was dope.
I heard it's not bad. I heard Party Next Door's album was garbage, but I heard that Shrimp Life wasn't that bad.
I tweeted last night that I was so excited that Party dropped a new project so I could go to sleep.
That's fucked up.
Musical NyQuil.
I need to listen to the Atmosphere album that dropped, but that probably put Joe to sleep too. So
probably.
Yeah.
And before I go, I definitely got to plug this.
Plug it all.
I have I have an EP dropping at the end of the year. So.
Say what?
Nice.
Yeah, I rap and play keyboard.
So you got bars like that, huh?
Bars.
So I something like that.
Word. Yeah, I'm definitely. Do you have any old stuff that you want to plug that we can listen to now?
I have a couple songs up on my SoundCloud. There's one called Days of Future Past, which I'm sure you like because I dropped like 37 superhero references in it.
But you call it Days of Future Past, though. I fucking hate that movie.
Well, it's DAZE. It's more of a
okay.
It's more of an allusion to the comic book series, not the movie. Because I dropped it.
Word. I'm definitely gonna check that though, for real.
It's SoundCloud A-J-Phoenix, like the city. So.
You already looking it up, Kels?
Maybe. Mind business.
Link me if you find it. Shit. All right, so that's been the show. It was a great conversation. Thank you, everybody that's been viewing, because I've seen the viewer count kind of go up and down. So we've had some people watching live, which is always dope. Normally, I would thank everybody for commenting, but the only person that commented supported Joe, so fuck you. You can go to hell. But nah, real talk. Appreciate everybody for checking out the show. We're gonna try to stick to doing this every week. We back. Hopefully, we gonna see. But everybody plug your stuff before we shut it down. Go ahead, Kels.
Twitter, Instagram at justkels88. It's all kind of random stuff going on there. Just there's ranting and writing, and I don't know. I might start rapping too. Just check it out.
Swag.
All right, AJ.
AJ_PHX on Twitter. I won't say anything on Instagram because I don't like people knowing what I look like. As far as people on Twitter are concerned, I'm a white guy with the dreadlocks, so we'll keep it that way.
Yeah, I actually saw you tweeting about that way back. But Joe?
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Joe Hova's MF. You can follow me on all that stuff. Normally I just post pictures of like comic book grabs and stuff like that on my Instagram. Also visit joehovasmf.com for indie hip hop. I started focusing more on writing actually about the music instead of like the quantity of posts, and it's getting better feedback. So it's fine. Like I'm finally glad that like I'm returning to like my roots of like writing. So check that out. Let me know what you think. A lot of good indie hip hop on there too.
Word up. Business as usual for me. _CSJR. Follow me on Twitter. That's it for me on Instagram also. You can follow me on there, but I barely ever post shit. I just kind of creep on people's stuff. So I'll be on there, but I don't post nothing.
Real.
That's good.
People post cool shit. And plus it's Snapchat now on Instagram. So
I still don't know how to use the story shit.
It's confusing as fuck. I'm just gonna leave it where it is and enjoy other people's work that they done figured out. But also got to plug the coalition.com. Check it out. There's not a lot of hip hop stuff on the site right now, but on the YouTube, we run the streets out here. And we also just started for the people that support the Patreon on the coalition. We just started the new thing called, well, not new, but we revived Versus, which if you watch the trailer for Versus, it looks not strangely, like a rap battle, and that's exactly on purpose. So definitely check that out. It's really dope. Right now, it's focused on gaming topics, but we'll probably do stuff like movies and hip hop and stuff. We might have to have a Nas versus Jay-Z versus episode. But for the people that want to see that, you have to be a Patreon supporter or work in house with the rest of us. Yeah. But thank y'all for watching Nights of the Turntable. This is episode 62, and we will see y'all next time. Peace out.